This is a part of a city that goes with density. With high-rises and compact streetscapes, Hong Kong has been known as one of the densest cities in the world. Extraordinary, we say, but this is a video on one of its unique social features and physical forms: cubicle homes. The city's expansion created an extensive apartment subdivision problem of poor ventilation and structural overloading. We can easily see overcrowdedness and density in Shamshui-Po, especially along the Fuqua Street known for a bustling street market. It is one of the most densely populated areas in Shamshui-Po with many cubicle homes. The neighborhood is one of the most infamous representation of social hierarchy in Hong Kong, illustrated by the juxtaposition between clustered tonglao and mansions and high-rises. The area is known for urban poor, aged and dilapidated buildings and immigrants. The demand for public housing fostered on the rapidly increasing population. Not everyone can live in extravagant high-rises. High-rises are an unsustainable solution. Cubicle home dwellers say government should do more on resettlement scheme and housing programs. Cubicle homes are responses to the many shortcomings of Hong Kong's housing market. They are relatively cheaper in rent and accessible in Shamshui-Po than any other districts, attracting many dwellers to move in. However, the subdivision leads to many health problems and safety risks. The situation did not improve for a lot of urban poor even after the government improved building regulations over the years. So, informal housings and small livings were rationalized and developed into a trend. The problem of insufficient space where land shortages shaped our neighborhood. Ostensibly, there is no way out. Safety is going wrong in cubicle homes, so government must invest more in public housing scheme. Government has worked with them, but not enough. Cubicle home tenants are still increasing, and in 2017, government proposed to provide transitional housing to solve the problem in short term by remaking the idle government properties and warehouses, but they are not effective because of their distances from where people work. We also suggest that government to enforce real estate developers to implement our sustainable design. This sustainable design alleviates the inadequate spaces, which are only on average 177 square feet. We propose an extendable balcony for each flat to deal with fire risks and health issues. At the same time, the green wall in this design improves the air quality and blocks the outside noise pollution. This design allows tenants to have a balcony that reduces exposure to health risks, safety issues, and outside pollutions. Accidents in cubicle homes are not rarely reported on news in these years. Shamshui-Po, where people call as urban slums, tend to have many accidents. Solving these housing problems, we believe, should be the government's first priority. Problem associated with cubicle homes can be improved through more public housing and better architectural designs. You may still think that there is no way out, but we want you to know there are already two sustainable ways out.
In the Lei Chong-wu estate, the Hao Chi House, which is located just 10 minutes away from the MTR station, has unfortunately become the de facto waste disposal site for furniture for residents of the entire estate. What's worse, a heap has formed right in front of the building. There you can find all sorts of furniture, be it damaged, irreparable, or worse, perfectly usable furniture. This is a small-scale manifestation of the furniture waste problem in Hong Kong, albeit a largely overlooked one. Because of the irregular nature of the garbage site, there is no fixed cleanup schedule. The Estate Management Division will request for trash collection whenever the heap reaches critical mass. Unfortunately, it will normally only take 1 week to refill the garbage heap. Needless to say, there are multiple problems here. First, it harms the public image of the estate. The location is too exposed to residents. It has been reported to give out a bad smell, and it can become the habitat for pests. Currently, the estate trash collection points can't handle the large amounts of bulky furniture, and conventional garbage trucks are not equipped to handle bulky garbage as well. To that end, this is our solution. First, we propose setting up a new site for disposing furniture within the estate. We are able to find a new site just 300 meters away from the original site. is located behind the Linky house, which is also within the estate. It is secluded and unused, unexposed, and it will not compromise the public image of the estate. There are no stairs along the way, so transport of bulky objects to both sites will be feasible. Plus, the new site is located by the roadside, so it will be easy for collectors to pick up the furniture. The second part of our solution is to cooperate with the relevant organizations. There are a number of organizations out there that are good partners for handling abandoned furniture. That's why we chose a site that is sheltered from the weather to maintain the condition of reusable furniture. This way, the furniture can be funneled to be properly reused, and this can also be a long-term solution for furniture waste management.
这个地方基本上没有公园，只有在田心村那里有一个很小的公园。但是所以说，我觉得他们可能就真的是没有办法。但是可能马上这边又建了新楼盘之后，就会有很多的公园，那么这一点点小天桥可能就不是很够用。比方说，你看现在这边占了一小半，那么以后这边也都会占住，中间只有一点点路给你走的时候，那个时候你再来说这个问题，可能就已经晚了。开发一些，比方说预留一些大樓底下嘅一些公共
租一間學校俾你哋都會好開心㗎嘛，
開心啊，好開心。
According to South China Morning Post, Hong Kong produces 179 tons of plastic utensils and foam takeaway containers every day. That's equivalent to the weight of 10 double-decker buses. It contributes towards 8% of our total plastic waste composition. This made us wonder, what could we do to alleviate this problem of plastic waste created from takeouts, starting from a small community like our university environment? Taking takeout from canteens for convenience is a common habit of university students. Therefore, we propose a plastic utensil ban in HKU to ban disposable plastic utensils and food containers in our campus. To encourage students to not use plastic utensils or food containers, we will propose to our senior management team in HKU to allow for 1. $3 discount for bringing your own containers in. 2. setting up washing areas for utensils and containers. So let's find out what our students think.
Once or twice a week.
Maybe 4 times a week. No, I think that's not enough. In that case, I would still use the plastic bag.
I think by installing the extra washing areas and things like that, it makes it more convenient.
覺得可能就未必可以真係逼到全部人都咁做，雖然有得即係話俾你洗咁，但係都有少少麻煩，要帶到嚿嘢返學咁。
平3蚊嘅話，我覺得都係一個幾大嘅吸引力咯。
Yeah, maybe I'll bring a couple of them to a studio, and then every time I go out to have lunch, and then I bring one out.
As you can see, there is a lot of potential for this proposal to be implemented, and by making this a reality, we can bring meaningful change. Crunching the numbers, if an average HKUer has the same habits as the number shown at the start of the video, we could reduce around 7 kilograms of plastic utensil waste per day as a whole. Plastic utensils are unrecyclable. By implementing this proposal, we are reducing the amount of plastic that goes through landfills. Plastic is the third largest category of municipal solid waste that takes more than 1,000 years to decompose, and our landfills are running out in 2 years. In fact, 94% of our plastic waste is exported, so plastic ends up in the sea. This endangers 700 species of sea creatures, which could be poisoned by ingesting plastic that are floating in the sea. And if we eat the fishes, then we end up eating plastic as well. By implementing this proposal, not only we are creating a greener campus, we are also changing university students' attitudes by making them aware of the impact they are bringing towards our environment. Support our movement to make HKU plastic utensil free.
With very limited land for housing and a huge population, subdivided flats with crowded living space and a high rent emerged in Hong Kong in recent decades. According to government statistics, nearly 200,000 people are living in these flats, with living areas ranging from 75 square feet to 140 square feet. A subdivided flat of around 80 square feet in Sham Shui Po can cost around 4,000 Hong Kong dollars a month, which is very unreasonable for such a small living space. Therefore, we will focus on tackling the problems created by subdivided flats in Sham Shui Po under the sustainability principle of capturing more, using less, and polluting less under a finite system.
The general living standard of subdivided flats are very low due to pollution, insufficient safety equipment and regulations, and health issues created by poor ventilation and hygiene. First, light pollution is generated by signage which are placed near residential buildings, which affects one's sleeping pattern and causes insomnia. Solid waste which are not properly dumped may breed diseases. There are also mental and physical health issues created by subdivided flats. Living in the confined space for a prolonged period will lead to stress and fatigue, which causes the development of mental illness like depression and anxiety. With poor ventilation and poor hygiene, physical illness like respiratory illness and chronic diseases will be developed.
Indeed, it is important to get rid of subdivided flats and build more affordable public housing, but building public housing is very time-consuming and it cannot solve the urgent problems of poor, fire, safety and public health issues. The poor will have a difficult time looking for cheap and affordable shelters, and some of them may not even be able to afford public housing. Therefore, a more feasible and sustainable way would be to make the subdivided flats a little more comfortable and safe to live in. We cannot create more land and space, but we can make the living conditions slightly better and more humane.
With limited land resource, we have come up with solutions offered by 3 sectors. First, in terms of government intervention, regulations regarding the sizes and safety measures of the flat can be set. For instance, a 1,000 square feet flat can only be subdivided into at most 4 flats, or a 700 square feet flat can at most be subdivided into 3 flats, and so on. Perhaps with shared bathrooms and kitchens as well. There should also be sufficient fire safety equipment, windows and air conditioners for better ventilation, as well as the prohibition of smoking indoors so that the residents' living standard can be raised. For NGOs, they can donate and deliver daily necessities or furniture like thick bed sheets in winter and fans in summer. Repairing services can also be provided, so the leaky water taps and the worn-out pipes can be fixed. Online or face-to-face counseling service is also important to the residents, as they often experience depression and stress living in a confined and low-quality living condition. Lastly, for owners' cooperation, they can install CCTV to prevent people from throwing out garbage directly out from the window and clean out rubbish bins more frequently, so that it eliminates odor and improves the hygiene of the flats. We hope that these solutions can help to make the living environment of subdivided flats a little bit better, and thank you so much for watching.
Pak Folam Village is one of the oldest villages in Hong Kong. During its heydays in the 50s, there were once more than 5,000 people living in the area due to the prosperous dairy farm business. But soon after the company moved away its production line, the village slowly started to decline. As surrounding development continuously pulls the village further away from its primitive living, social segregation and conflict between the new and the old erupted. In recent years, the government even tried to drive away the villagers by listing all the residential units as temporary. We believe that people at Pak Folam village deserve a better life. We initially suspected that the waste management there would be poor, since the system was built on a consumption pattern of over 100 years ago. Turns out, despite having only 2 sites of garbage bins, almost no garbage was found on the ground. In fact, precisely because of the limited resources brought by environmental and policy constraints, in many ways, the people at Pak Folam village seem to be living in a more sustainable way than most of us are. They stack up solid waste and find creative ways to give them a second life. They utilize the wind and the power of solar. They use food waste to plant flowers and fruit on their roof. And they even have regular educational activities teaching villagers how to live greener. Every year, we produce 6 million tons of waste. Despite a recycle rate of 35%, only 3% of it was recycled locally, with over 90% exported to the mainland. In late 2017, the Chinese government has decided that China will no longer accept the import of these recyclable foreign garbage anymore. Without somewhere to unethically dump these precious resources, we urgently need a solution. So rather than waiting for the 2019 charge for waste or the government to build recycle plants, we believe that the Pak Folam village is already a model with demonstrated success. We got to know from interviews that villagers are extremely interested in knowing how to take recycling to another level. We therefore propose to use the area next to the entrance to build a recycling workshop. With simple and cheap machinery, villagers at Pak Folam village can transform their own waste, such as plastic, into something they can find useful in daily lives. For example, a bowl, a bottle, an art piece. If they don't need it, they can just sell it to the public and turn it into a community business that is sustainable on its own. We believe that with these simple acts, we can together vitalize Pak Folam village into a sustainable urban block with its own natural texture. We wish that every part of Hong Kong will gradually all have these kind of workshops, forming a loop in waste and production, and together we can live a wasteless life.